I should have that T-shirt that says you're muted.
I'm mute. Okay, so now I'm back on. But hey, I couldn't be more excited about tonight's conversation. I think we really hit a good mark with part one, which was just Matt speaking about the opportunities of and the value of creating a great LinkedIn site. I think that's a lost art with a lot of people, and I'm just excited. I think he provided some great insights, and I got to know him because of his military LinkedIn book that he has available for sale. And because my passion is helping military transition, and it's very hard for military to understand what they can put now out there and to network with, because they've always been so close hold in the past because of their, stuff that they're doing, so to speak. So anyway, great insights, great ideas. I just love what he's doing. And then, to add to the greatness of tonight's event, Tina, she was one of our panel events members for the Women in Project Management month that we had a few months ago. And I think that was probably one of our best presentations that we had. We had 5 or 6 great panel members. My gosh, I was just awestruck by everybody.
It was great.
Tina being our representative from Canada.
That's it.
And, it was just a great dynamic. So I welcome both Matt and Tina together to talk about how to take advantage of a great LinkedIn site. I'm sure they're going to still talk a little bit about the improvements that can be made, but again, this is a service that we should all take advantage of and continue our networking, which is a PMI objective. Mm-hmm. So with that, Matt, he's just been doing this around the world, as he's already talking about. And he also has, I think, a new book out. Matt, what was the book? Is it LinkedIn for Learners? Or?
Sandy, at the end of this, I'm going to do a quick plug for that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Trust me. I'm here to inform and educate. And I have to say this, I'm really stoked to work with Tina, because we've been working on this.
Yeah.
Tina,
thank you, Matt. Me too.
If I can begin.
So anyway, Tina and Matt, I'm going to leave it to you guys to offer some great insights, because I'm ready to take some notes.
Okay.
Thank you, Sandy.
So I'm going to start this presentation by making the assumption that all of you were in my last class. If not, let me know. There's 2 transition bite videos that you can watch that Sandy helped me get introduced to. And so those are like the precursor to this. This is with the idea that you have a good working profile. And a homage to my buddy Anthony, because I said, well, Anthony's always spending time at the beach. So this represents Anthony's profile, right? This is that beautiful car, it's polished, and he's good to go, right? But now he's got to figure out where he's going to drive it so that people will notice what he's doing on LinkedIn. Yeah. It's real important that we talk about the path we're going to go with this. We talked in the last class about the purpose of research and other things, and you're going to see a lot of these themes throughout tonight's talk. But, it's like, where am I going to drive? Who do I want to interact with, right? What's my ideal customer? Having that in mind is going to help you with this part of tonight's talk. And of course, you got to have a roadmap, right, Sandy? Right, Tina?
Absolutely.
And you absolutely got to have a roadmap. Obviously, I heard some people, where do I want to work next? Yeah, this is where the networking part can come in. Have an idea? But it's also, if only I knew someone who could help me with the problem. We all face problems in project management. I face a lot of problems. How do I find the solution for that problem? And so this is where LinkedIn can really come forth and help you. And we're going to show you a couple ways to build that relationship to get to the kind of people that can help you answer those questions. And of course, one of the things I always want you to think about, and I know you guys are really good about this, is how can I be of help, right? The more you're helpful to other people, the more likely people are going to be likely to help you.
Mhm.
So I just heard talk about the new PMIorg book, right? So imagine somebody asked for this. This is what you can happen on LinkedIn. My friend knows. And that's how, you know, that's the beauty of LinkedIn connections. That's the beauty of building a LinkedIn profile that is robust and then now takes it out to talk to other people. Okay. You guys are really, really passionate about some of the topics that you share on PMI. And so I'm going to turn this over to my friend, Tina.
Thank you, Matt. So thank you everybody for being here tonight. I just like to say that I met Matt through this chapter when he made his presentation on part 1. And it's because of Matt that I updated my own LinkedIn profile, which had been, you know, pretty stagnant for many, many years. And because Matt had the courage to say, I don't know if I like that photo of yours, I went and got myself a new photo, which I actually like. So I just want to say thank you to Matt for that. But if we can move to the next slide, when we were talking about this presentation and when Matt asked me to, you know, just speak with him to the topic and make it specific to using LinkedIn in the project management world, I think, Neil, you touched on a lot of things that we're going to touch on throughout this talk tonight. But I mean, basically, LinkedIn is a tool to network. I wasn't even aware, Sandy, I'm glad you brought it up, that networking is an objective, like one of the main objectives of the Project Management Institute. And if tonight, all we want to do is really share that, to use LinkedIn for that purpose, to network. So we're like, well, what are ways in which we can, you know, network, which really involves reaching out, right, to people? Just to say a word about reaching out, I work as an independent consultant. I teach a lot of university students who are about to graduate, and a lot of things they typically ask me is, you know, how do I network? How do I get a job? And I'm afraid, I'm scared to do it. And I answer them that, well, you just have to, if you're scared, you just have to do it scared, but you have to do it. You have to put yourself out there. So it can be super simple things. Like I tell them, okay, now, I don't know if you guys can see me here, but, you know, we used to have in print these project management publications like a PM Network, if you go on the next slide. But I'm like, if you want to be networking in the world of project management, you know, look at the documentation, the methodology, look at what trends, look at things that are coming out, articles, read up, and find an article that calls to you, and, you know, reach out to the author. Usually their contact information is there. So make that effort, make that step, not without necessarily any expectation of what you're going to get back. But if you don't make that step, it's guaranteed that you won't close the loop in any kind of way. So these were a couple of examples, like the PMI.org website. For those of you who maybe are newer to the world of project management, there's tons of resources. If you go to the next page, you can even, I think, a podcast. I'll go through a couple later, but maybe if you go to the next one, I'm trying to remember the slides, Matt, but I think even if you contribute and you write an article yourself instead of just reading, but to network, part of the game is not just waiting for opportunities to come to you, for people to connect to you, but to put yourself out there.
Tina, I was also going to say, it's really good that you bring up, you know, writing an article or a blog, because, you know, that's how I got started, you know, just speaking to some topics. And sometimes you think, oh, well, maybe this is just my perspective, or, you know, nobody else has this viewpoint. And you'll be surprised if you write something that's from the heart. Yeah. A lot of times it'll be picked up and it'll be shared quite a lot, either here or through projectmanagement.com, that still has some type of relationship with PMI, and they always ask for articles. Anyway,
No, I
continue
think
on.
that
I'm sorry.
I think that's great because it's that act of putting yourself out there, right? It takes that person to make that step, but a lot of people appreciate it on the other end, right? They may not all reach out to you, but for sure there's someone else who's thinking the same thing, right? Who's going through the same kind of challenge. So we're just here planting seeds tonight. So this is one of them.
And Tina, that's a good seed. We're going to talk more about that as well. How you can, if you publish articles or people publish articles of interest to you, how you respond and how you build a network. So thank you so much. This is, Sandy, I got to say this. It's great that you introduced me to Tina, because Tina has really helped me get the perspective of the typical Project Management Institute member. I've had a lot of input from you too, Anthony, and I appreciate that. But Tina's really been helpful, and that's why I'm excited to be sharing this with her, and I hope we'll get to do this talk again and again throughout the world. Okay, this is good information.
Yeah, it's not only good information, but it's important information for anybody trying to make a stand in the world as a project manager. And it does speak to the elements of what PMI stands for, which is networking and continual involvement and evolution of yourself and learning.
So nice, so well said. Yes.
And so it's time for us to break out of our shell, right?
There you go.
I hope you're all, those of you that are on mute are saying, yeah, I'm ready to break out of my shell. And
to that point, Matt, sorry to interrupt you, but it could be something as simple as saying, well, when I'm participate on a Zoom meeting with people I don't know, or even people I do know, I'm gonna not be like in that black screen. I'm gonna show myself, you know what I mean? And be accessible.
I just learned something new there, Tina. We're gonna have to, when we modify this, we're going to talk about that very idea of a Zoom call. So yeah, thank you. So opportunity comes in all forms.
Right.
It comes in more than, and Tina and I did a lot of brainstorming. How many times do you think we talked back and forth? Probably 5 or 6 times?
Yeah, more times than my neighbors. That's what I'm saying. I'm serious.
Yeah. Okay. So, are we ready to soar to new heights? Back to you, Tina.
Yeah, I saw that slide with the little girl this morning. Actually, I loved it. So, Neil, you showed, you could present the rest of this presentation because you touched on a lot of this stuff, like how to use LinkedIn to connect to people, okay? So the first one being, follow the PMI LinkedIn page, become a follower, see who else is following. You will likely know people there and you can follow the discussions, see again about trends, and learn a lot and contribute. You can make posts over here and you'd be surprised, like even one short video, like a type of more interactive post, how many responses it can garner. So PMI, that's one. Then on the next slide, specifically if we're looking at, the PMI Suncoast chapter, if you're new to the chapter and you want to, get to know more about who's a part of it, start by connecting through LinkedIn. Then, you can always go on the web page specifically and check out the organization. I'm not sure if that's the next slide, Matt, but in terms of networking, another way is looking up, the roster of upcoming meetings. So I've participated in a few meetings with the Suncoast chapter since January, February. So the Women in Project Management and a couple on recruiting as well. So I met a few recruiters. Even though I'm in Canada, I've spoken to recruiters in, Clearwater, Tampa Bay area. And, one person leads to another, but it's also dependent on you and how active you are in pursuing those relationships, right? It's not, you can't just say, well, I made a connection and I stop there and I wait for the other person to keep it going. It's kind of like a marriage. For those of you who have been married a little while, when they say it takes work, well, it takes that effort. It should be pleasant and fun, but it does take that effort on our part. So, just take a look at the meetings. The information is all there. And it's just up to us to find something that interests us and follow that lead, plant those seeds. Matt,
You know,
I don't know.
can I jump in here for a second? I think
Sure.
the biggest thing that LinkedIn has you believe is that it's just because you connected with that person, you really haven't connected with them. You might have an association with them. You might be in that person's roster, but we're going to get into the connection piece later. It's important to not think like LinkedIn would have, well, I'm a connection with Tina. Well, I am a connection with Tina, but I'm not really a connection with Alice because I don't know Alice very well. You know, it's like I may be connected, but I'm not really connected. So it's that perception of connection that we're going to talk a little bit more about in the next couple slides.
So well said. So well said.
Thank you. Okay, so you go to a conference. I heard you're going to have some live conferences in the fall, CDC, COVID permitting. All right. So imagine you're in the audience and you see a person speaking. Wouldn't you want to know about that person afterwards? So that's one way to begin the networking process, is to look at people that are speaking. So Anthony, if you're speaking on something that's near and dear to you somewhere else in the world of PMI, then by all means you want to do this, and you also want to include your LinkedIn URL. I mean, this is how you can reach me. Again, whenever you see this little girl flying, this is when I say, and now back to my friend, Tina.
Yeah, because I just love it so much. So just talking earlier about, you know, navigating the PMI.org, it's so rich with resources. I mean, different ways of meeting new people, okay? People you believe you can, you know, form relationships that will, you can contribute to and will help advance whatever particular cause you're working on. You know, attend a course, attend a seminar, and look up who the instructors are, look up their profile, contact them, and then take it from there. Then you'll meet like-minded people who are signing up for that, to attend that particular talk. So this is another way that, you know, you can use LinkedIn to form relationship with like-minded people.
Ready for the next slide?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, so attending an event, attending a webinar, it's all on the PMI.org website. Same thing, like I said earlier, with PMI Suncoast. Next slide, please, Matt. Thank you. And yeah, again, contributing, like creating a webinar, creating any discussion, just being active and showing, putting yourself out there, not just with the mindset of receiving, but putting yourself out there. So those were some examples.
So we were talking about, you know, we're having a meeting, right? And you're meeting in person, which is going to happen more and more in certain parts of the world because of some relaxation of COVID. I want you to think about this. You're meeting with people, you don't know who that is. You want to know more about them. You know, maybe that is a contractor that came in. Maybe you're the contractor who's presenting to them. You know, it's important that you look at that person's profile and check him out. We're going to talk a little bit about the connection piece in a second, but this is an example of how to network, right? And of course, our favorite, the Zoom call, right? All right. Again, you know, I'm going to meet with these people. I think it's going to be helpful, especially when you're dealing with people all over the world. Let me know more about them, right? And this is, you know, this is how LinkedIn can help you with that. These are the opportunities. Obviously, your local chamber of commerce. Those of us with school kids, the PTA. There's always opportunities there. And then, of course, you know, you guys are proud of your project management designations. You know, you meet somebody and they're interested in that. This is a way to help them. And you could suggest, well, if you're interested, my name is Anthony Aguilar, and I'm at this LinkedIn address. Please connect with me and let's talk some more.
Like what Anthony just shared now, and I think people have been sharing up until now, they've been sharing their addresses. That's fantastic. That's the way to do it. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yes, exactly. The thing I want you to think about is the research part. This is the part that LinkedIn, it really can provide you some really rich data. So for example, there's an article on Agile. First question I want to do is, who's the author? Like you were saying a minute ago, Tina, who's the author?
Yeah, basic research, right? Yeah, who are they? What are their credentials?
do I have a LinkedIn connection that knows this person? So I didn't really put much into this slide as far as the degrees of connection. LinkedIn works in first degree connections, second degree connections, and third degree connections. Now, if you're willing to spend some money, LinkedIn will let you have access to everybody in the world up to a point, depending on your license with them. If you have somebody that's well connected like myself or somebody like Sandy, and you're trying to reach people, probably they have a lot of second degree connections that because of that, you can connect with that person. So it's helpful to have a relationship with people that are well connected. So here's the steps. Read an article, research the author, and does anyone know this person? Because if you write a connection and said, Sandy Lawrence suggested I connect with you because, and there's a strong relationship between the two of them, that's great. Anthony, you have your hand up.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to jump in.
Please.
What Matt's saying is very true. I will just say that Matt and I worked on my LinkedIn profile, and I recently got laid off from one job and found another job really quickly. And a lot of it was that the company looked at my LinkedIn profile. They looked at my ability to not just provide a resume, but also what like events am I attending, what's my persona, what am I about. And even today, I work in a digital, they call it a digital experience agency. So when they present me to a client, they'll also present my LinkedIn profile. So it's really important that if you look at it from that standpoint, because I work in a very big, not only a PMO, this agency is very big, that not everyone knows everyone. So it really helps to have that profile and that presence, because the recruiters start looking at you, other people look at you, and there's some other opportunities that really talk about there's spaces for your projects that you've worked on, and connecting really helps you. Because I've also been able to reach out and to help some other people. I just got recertified for my Scrum certification, and I was able to help two people that are aspiring Scrum Masters to get located. So it can work two ways. It depends on what your goal is, like Matt said, but how you utilize it, and it's been very beneficial. Sorry to take your time, Matt.
No, I've enjoyed. You know what?
That's great.
I was marking my time clock here so that I can pull. Once I get the video, I'll pull that from my. I'll pull that so I can get a video endorsement. Yeah, I'm good with that. No, thank you. So what we want to do now is talk about the art of connection. Okay. There is an art form, but first we have to help you understand what I call seismic activity. I chose my wife because she's not an active LinkedIn person. The first sign that she's not active is there's a blank banner. When you see someone with a blank banner, it's like, yeah, that's number one, right? It's,
not even a picture.
Well, that's what I mean. And let me say this, Sandy. I did have her permission to use her persona, okay? So I've been cleared. Because Tina asked me, are you sure? Oh, yes. But here's another indicator. If you look at her profile when I took this screenshot about a week and a half ago, she had no activity. That means that over the past 90 days, she's not done anything. So the likelihood of her answering your question or responding to you is pretty low, okay? Again, nothing there. Here's someone that has a banner. Notice that it indicates what she's all about. To me, that's a strong likelihood that that person's going to respond to your connection note or the other forms of interactivity I'm going to share in just a second. And again, notice the comments. And more importantly, Notice the shares. If somebody's really commenting, they're sharing things, that to me says that if you comment on something they wrote about or something they're shared, the likelihood of them responding back to you is pretty high. So here's the 5 steps of LinkedIn networking. Number 1, find the other person's LinkedIn URL. Number 2, look for the tie back. See, I mentioned a couple there. 3, send a note with at least 1 tie back. Be purposeful and, whoops, sorry about that, purposeful and direct. Let me go back. We'll go through that. So number 1, what's the URL? What is that person's URL? Write that person a note. And personalize it. You only have 300 characters, so you got to be on point. But it's not impossible to do something. And we're going to show you a couple examples of some connection notes in just a second. And then patience. You got to have patience. Some people are really busy. It may take them a week or 2 weeks to get back to you, but patience is something you need when you're connecting with people. So let's talk about that connection note, shall we? Number 1, start with their first name. Hi, Neil. In this case, this is an actual note of somebody I connected with recently. Dear Suzanne, I loved your... Here was my tie back to my connection. And what was the impact? Because of that, it was Major General Suzanne. But guess what? We're on a first name basis, and she told me to call her Susie. Okay, that's important that you tie things back when you reach out to people, and with a combination of patience and purpose, right? Volunteering is a good way to get noticed, and online that there's always a need to volunteer. Back to you, Tina.
Thank you. Going back to, different ways to connect, and volunteering being a great way to meet new people. If we go to the next slide, I'm going to go back again to home base, right? PMI.org. If you look at volunteering opportunities, if you scroll down, we won't do it now, but they list a number of different opportunities. If, Sandy mentioned a couple, but like if you're on a board, if you're on some kind of committee, contributing to the revision of some standard or the writing of a new standard, an area where a place where you have an opportunity to contribute your knowledge, and also to showcase that you're a credible person and that, you can be relied upon. These types of relationships can help you in the future if you're looking for another job or things like that. But there's networking for different types of objectives. Even volunteering to mentor, like to pay it forward. But just to think of volunteering as a way of connecting again with like-minded people. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention with this slide.
May I interject, Tina?
Absolutely.
I've heard this a lot of times. Well, people know that I'm active on LinkedIn. My boss thinks I'm looking for a new job, maybe. But if I'm building an active network and I'm looking for like-minded people, when I face a difficult situation or I've got credibility with them, they're probably going to help me find the answer I'm looking for in less time, especially if I've got the patience and I've got the time to develop that relationship. They're going to help me see things that I wouldn't have seen before. And that's like the beauty of our relationship with Tina and I. It's like she's helped me see things that I would not have seen, right?
And vice versa.
Yeah. So this is another slide that Tina and I had, for example, right?
That's right. Like volunteering opportunities in the Senkos chapter.
Yep. Took it right off your website, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Supporting me. Thank you.
But now look at this, guys, right? You're a PMI member and you're new to this chapter, and congratulations for doing that. But here's a note that you might think about when you write that connection to Sandy.
There you go.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somebody speaking next month, right? You guys, who's your speaker next month, Neil?
Hold on.
A lady with the name Tina in her name, I think.
Yeah. But,
Yes. Yeah.
but for example, you know, if you know the speaker, look him up and say, hey, I'm looking forward to your talk next month on.
Right, exactly.
And that person is actually on LinkedIn.
Okay.
They currently don't have a picture on their LinkedIn, but they do have a LinkedIn site.
But I'm sure you and Anthony will put a good word in for me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. This is an opportunity. You see this opportunity. This person is going to speak on a, you know, topic near and dear to you folks in project management. And I always say, do the part one and then part two. How's it impacting me? Your work is specific, has already helped me. Wow. I get a connection note like that. When I look at my connection notes, like, okay, you're on the top of the list that I'm going to connect with, and not just as you, but also say, let's follow up and have a conversation. I want to talk about the social media interactivity. It's one thing to send a connection note, but not everyone is going to be, you're going to find more things through social media interactivity. Here's what I mean. How can I interact with someone I don't know on LinkedIn? Like the article, too easy. Comment on the article, takes a little work. Share the article. Now that's the ultimate way to be interactive, right? When you are interactive with people and you share their work, they're going to notice. I can guarantee it. When I get people saying, Matt, share, I really appreciate it. Okay, Anthony, I see your hands up again.
I think you've mentioned several key things. Is when you look at activity like sharing an article, if you like something specifically, why? Making sure that like in the morning I take 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes to just answer messages, to like a couple of articles, to have the value. So yes, it can help. And just being recognized and then sharing a lot within your network really helps.
So here's an example of interactivity. All right, back to my friend Susie Lum. She wrote this article. She got one person respond. Another person responded. That's fantastic. What would you do if you were posted something and you got some great comments? Like what she did, right? In other words, acknowledge that. We did address this, but there's sometimes people don't agree with you. And it's okay to say, well, I hear what you're saying, but this is how I came to this opinion. Every once in a while, you've got to be honest with people, you know, not to be difficult or anything like that. And there's some people that just live to be difficult, but most people are looking for acknowledgement that you and that person have a different agreement. Okay, connection strategy. This is the key part to being successful with LinkedIn. You need to invest in a CRM. I use my CRM every time I connect with somebody of substance, where I know it's, you know, we're connection. We're not just two people that happen to have the same, you know, I've met you, but I have not connected with you. But when I connect with you, I put you into my CRM. So I have Sandy and I've got Anthony in my CRM, right? I have a Calendly app that allows people to schedule time with me. So I'll say, hey, Neil, it's so nice to meet you. This is how you get on my schedule. Guess what? When you fill out the app and when you get the appointment, then I get some data on you, which I'll show in just a second. And here's the note. This is a typical note. Hey, thanks so much. And there's my schedule. That's what I usually send to people when I'm, depending on where we're going with this, and then harvest the data. And then set a suspense, you know. I met Anthony and I haven't heard from him after I sent him that note. You know, 3 or 4 days later, hey, Anthony, did you get my note? I would just want to follow up. And so the data is the key. And by working through these things, you're going to reach new summits that you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And please don't be this person.
I laugh every time I see this slide.
Or this person. Please don't be that person, okay? The ghost of Matt Shear will come out and go, I told you not to do this, okay? I will haunt you for that. So it's time for you to get in the game and not stand on the sidelines. Here's Tina's connection and contact info.
Oh yeah, my LinkedIn address.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's my name, Tina
I
Dutcherulli.
just saw your LinkedIn address, Tina, or LinkedIn site. It looks great.
And
It's updated. It's updated. So like I said, thank you, Matt.
Sorry, and there's my LinkedIn address and my new book, LinkedIn for Learners. I know, Anthony, you got a copy of that, yeah?
I did, and it's on my reading for this weekend.
Okay, great. And that's
is that available through Amazon?
not yet.
Because of
No,
that
I'm still looking at the distribution of that.
okay, because I'll buy a copy and then I'll write up a review on it for you.
I'm looking at some independent variation of Amazon, because Amazon gets a lot of money for hosting this.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
I'm looking at some other alternative sites. So, and I'm working with school districts on that. So that's something I'm working with some people right now to put together a strategy for that. Guys, this has been fun. If you have not connected with me before, now's the time to do that. You saw some examples of some good notes. Remember the tie back. Hey, I heard you speak on this. Thank you for this. That's going to put you on the top of my boy, I want to connect with you list. Okay. I will take this time to answer any questions you might have and look at your profiles, but I hope this has been inspirational to you all.
And I'd just like to say thank you, Matt. Thank you to the chapter again. And please connect with me as well. Don't be shy. That's why I do these things, because I like to meet new people, even virtually, and touching on everything that we've said in the past hour. So please feel free.
So this is the time that you have for questions, folks. I'm here to answer any questions you might have. Again, Anthony, Neil, Sandy, thanks for asking me back. And I have to say thank you, because it's opened my doors. This talk, a variation of this talk, will be presented to another customer at the end of August. So,
yeah, what I was going to say is, Anthony and Tina, you do bring, you know, a critical aspect of learning to this whole effort. I mean, I've utilized LinkedIn since 2005, since I became, I think it was around then, maybe later on, but, you know, you can use it for different things. You can use it as a resume, but I use it primarily as a military connection point and also a PMI connection point. And, you know, it's just amazing to me, the number of people that I've stayed connected with, but also the new people that I've met. You know, I actually, for my last book on military transition, I reached out to hundreds and hundreds of people on LinkedIn that were in the military. And I reached out to them to figure out what they were doing. And it's interesting and amazing at the same time that I've established some really long-term relationships that I still have going because of that effort. And it's just an amazing process. Same through all the groups and all the organizations that are supporting PMI through LinkedIn. I mean, you have study groups, you have, you know, groups that are just interested in project management or volunteering or, you know, geographical specificity. It's just amazing. And the connections are outstanding. And if you put some time into it, I think the rewards are multifold and just absolutely outstanding. So yeah, I think it starts all with a good LinkedIn and then being active on it, like you're saying. So I truly support this whole discussion and chat series that you guys are offering up. So great job.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you,
appreciate
Sandy.
it.
Yeah, PMI has such a pool of resources, like you said, such a pool. So let's tap into them, right? And use them with LinkedIn. Absolutely agree with you.
We have a hand up from, is it William or Bill?
It's actually Ed. So,
Okay.
hi, Matt.
Hi.
I did make some changes to my LinkedIn profile after our last workshop.
Okay.
But you say we should update our banner, but I don't know how to do that. I looked all over the place. I did put a new picture out there. I changed my name and etc. Tried to personalize.
Are we connected now, sir?
I believe we are. Let me go look. It's William Ed Brosso. Let me look.
But what I want to teach you, because I know how to connect with you. I want you to say, "Hey, Matt, thanks. Send me if we are connected. Send me a message right now. And say, hey, thanks so much for speaking." And if you think about that, right? If you reach out to your next month's speaker and you guys are already first degree, then you can send him a private message during the conversation. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
How do I know? Where do I go to see where we're connected?
Well, let me help you with that. Okay, I'm gonna look you up.
Here you are. Here.
All right. Yeah, D-Mesh. There I am.
Yeah,
Lovely.
you're right here.
Yeah. We are. Yeah. Are we connected? Click on my link right there. I want to say we're connected. Gotcha. Let me look here.
Yes, I did download the video.
So I did send you a video link to the, okay.
Yeah, the last presentation, and I did download it. So,
Okay.
but again, I don't know how to upload this banner. Like
okay, tell you what, would you let me have the screen for a second?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to share. So the answer to your question is this. You go to your home page.
Are you sharing?
I'm going to. You're right. Thank you. I have that problem. See,
damn technology.
darn technology. There's this picture here of my profile.
Yeah.
And then you click here. Then you click there. And you follow the instructions.
To edit. Yeah.
And then it'll let you upload, change photo or upload, okay? Since you have nothing there.
I did change my photo, but I don't know how to change the banner.
Tell you what, sir, if you'll hang on for a minute or two afterwards, I'll walk you through it, okay?
Okay, great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I think the banner is really important. Matt helped me with mine. And I still use mine, even though one of my books changes, because you do need to consider your banner as it's used in a mobile setting, like on a cell phone as well. So you do need to think about that if you're going to be putting any lettering in and that kind of stuff. So very insightful, his books. So
thank you. And by the way, that is my granddaughter. I am a grandpa now.
Congratulations.
Very sweet. Very
That's the
sweet.
inspiration. It's like whenever I get down, it's like just look at that little girl, go, yeah. And her mother's enjoying motherhood and being a responsible parent, which I'm really thrilled. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Any other questions?
Man, I was going to make a comment, if it's
Thank you.
okay.
Please,
So I'm going to share my screen.
please.
Can everyone see my screen?
We
Yes.
got it now. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to show something. I recently
Yeah.
got recertified as my Scrum Master. It's just part of the, I took a course, online course. So if you notice in my post, my background's by my company I work for. And then when I did this post and listed people, I had this many comments, 35. Look how many views I have.
Mm.
18,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
But what it is that in back to communities, I'm on another board on a steering committee for the digital marketing program at University of South Florida Mooma School of Business. So back to diversity, back to your strategy. When it took me 4 days to write my profile, it took me 4 days because I literally had to go through and to really think very hard on what I do and what would be the impact of the employer. So what I just wanted to share with people is that by naming people in this profile, I took a Scrum course from Jim Jelly and Think Louder. I mentioned people that was in the course with me that I had connected with. I mentioned the chapter. Our chapter, the early Agile movement in our chapter was really and I just picked some people. Becky Hartman was the past president, Julie Everett, Steve Grenies, Fred, Aline Cease were just some members, and I did the hashtags. And same thing. Recently, my company, when I got onboarded, I had 1,500.
That's impressive.
I recently, this is a month ago, the Hampton Roads chapter did a presentation on servant leadership, and I think you've talked to Jason, so it was really a very great presentation, and
Yes.
826 views. So what it is that when I'm being presented, not only by my company, I'm the type that I vary who I connect with and who I like and what I like. So it can be my company, it could be someone from the Mooma School of Business, it could be a variety of different things. Because the end game is not only if you network for different areas, it's the volunteer side, it's the strategic side. Have the goal, but right now, I just want to show you to the side. I've got recruiters, I've got an old friend. This gentleman just joined the chapter, Brenton. And Shannon met him on an orientation and Alice did. A lady that's a photographer. This person right now is looking for a job as a Scrum Master, trying to help her. It's a great method to do the introduction. And also, I think for me, is that when you have so much on your plate, it's an easy way to connect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I just want. I'm sorry, I jumped in.
No. In fact, I was going to ask you something. I'm gonna get a couple screenshots of that because I want to be able. This is exactly where I did the Susie Verse thing. This is even better. Yours is
because see, Matt, when we talked just about what end game is and what people are looking for.
Yeah.
My company provided this LinkedIn profile. So this is my profile. Let's see if I can do it right.
Yeah.
So I had the lady that's a connection. She did my photograph.
Right. Looks nice.
Thank you. She's a photographer for food. believe it or not.
Well, she makes you look awesome, even though you got a new haircut.
I know. But Neil's is better, by the way. and Neil's is better. Then also, if we kind of look at this, the header,
yeah,
it's very distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
If we could just pick this up. Then just kind of going down, kind of looking at talking in first person.
Yes.
Then also, here's my job. I work for a digital customer experience agency company, and it's a larger company. It's called Emphasis, which is a digital marketing IT solution company. But you can see what I do. Then the next one is my former job. These are some of the different platforms and some ideas. Then kind of go down some Scrum certification. This is my board work. I have 2 more experiences, a steering committee. I've been on the board for a long time. And then some endorsements. Shannon, actually, guys, was my intern when I was at Saks Fifth Avenue. And so Shannon and I connected, and I'm helping her get into project management in a digital space with my company. And then accomplishes, courses, things like this. People look at this stuff.
They do.
And I think what the biggest feedback I can get anyone is, like Tina and it said, I'm in a new company. I have very high profile clients. I have people and mentors that help me out, and I'm in a PMO. But you have to take the step forward. If you're to continue progressing, this didn't take me, and I can confess to Neil. Neil, how long did it take me to do this profile?
It took me quite a while.
It took me, because taking the time to do it was not only the best investment, but it presented me of who I am, and you know what you're getting, versus a resume.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to everyone?
Anthony, the check's in the mail, okay?
No, I just, and again, what helped me get started is sessions with Matt. And we had to collaborate, because it's much different. Each vertical is different. Same stuff, but you got to polish it. Sometimes you can get away with, one message, but then you have to up the level. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with anyone, because it is important. And I'm just very grateful and fortunate that I've met Matt. And I'm grateful that Sandy's in the chapter, because through Sandy, I've met Matt and Tina and everyone. And I'm just so fortunate, because I know that, and back to the volunteering part, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without volunteering, because I've learned a lot. So anyway, that's my story. I'm going to stick to it.
Thank you, Anthony. It was great what you did. I can totally relate to everything that you've said, because everybody, your profile is public. We see it. And, it's the little details that matter, and every word, right? I can understand if it only took you 4 days, I think that's pretty good, because it's like every word you can be like, I don't want to say agonizing over, but you have to think about, right? So I think you did a great job.
And also it helped you in interviewing, and it helps you explain who you are.
Yes, it's so true.
Because when you can't, and back to the project management part, is that I have to wear 2 hats, because I have to wear the Scrum part and the project management part. So you have to have those hats, but you have to also have the strategic part. And that's where this comes in.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. When you come to San Antonio, you're good for a good breakfast taco breakfast.
You know, I might be your way. You never
There's a
know.
lot of conferences coming that way. We're back in the tourism for right now. Folks, it's been great to be back. You've been an inspiration to me as well. I've done several international talks. I just was approached by a couple other places. The thing about the work with you is that I've learned from you just as much as I hope you learn from me. And I hope you'll stay in touch. And Tina, I'm looking for that Gary Carter rookie baseball card.
Yeah, I'm giving a presentation on a construction project in Montreal, which had us in the red for like 40 years. At another PMI chapter in Florida in September, but you know, if you connect with me, it'd be a pleasure. And thank you for having me tonight.
I'm looking for that Gary Carter card or Tim Raines.
Thank you.
Or,
Tim Raines,
Andre
yeah.
Dawson. They're
the golden years.
The golden years of baseball.
Yeah. I spoke at the last chapter about how much I love going to Florida and the good old days when I could still travel before COVID for spring training. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm hoping to make a spring training trip, and I'm gonna visit you, Anthony, and Sandy, and all. I would look forward to that. You want to have me back next year, live and in person? Maybe we can work something out. I've enjoyed our association, our friendship. I'm going to say goodnight in a minute because guess what? I have 2 military transition roundtable groups. My partner in that is working without me, but I know he'll want me back eventually. And I really appreciate the opportunity to work with you all. And Anthony, you and I need to talk when you have time. I would love your thoughts on the book. Sandy, as soon as the book comes out in published form, I'll let you look at it. I'll send you a copy of the book. It's written for the high school kid who doesn't know what he wants to do next.
For me, that's great.
Yeah, sometimes those high school kids are 50 years old, so it's okay.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I remember that guy. So thank you all for having me tonight. It's always a pleasure to work with this chapter, and you've helped me rethink the whole PMI experience. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
And there's your code for your PDUs. All right. I'm going to say goodbye, guys.
Hey, Matt, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Now, at the beginning, we were talking about the sessions. Is that still the thing? Because Anthony's going to pull names if it is.
Yes, that's right. We're going to, 2 names. 2 people will get, yeah.
Okay. So here is the cards.
I'm picking the one right there in the number 5 there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right, there's 5, yeah.
And I think I might mispronounce the name. Natisha?
I don't know if she left, but I saw her name before.
Okay, so that's one. We'll connect. And let's see who the next one is. And Tina, you get to do the next honors. 1.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, so.
Well, I'm going to go with the number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah.
This one?
That one. Yes.
William, congratulations.
Meant to be.
William,
Thank you.
we can use that time to fix your banner, okay?
I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay.
I love the cards. That is a great way to,
That was nice.
yeah, that is a great thing. We should do that at the end of every presentation, Anthony. What a great idea.
Anthony's got some more tricks up his bag.
Wow. Okay.
Sure.
And I can't wait to the annual planning meeting because Sandy, I got some great raffle prizes to watch.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
that's
Well,
fun.
I'm
Okay.
terrible at raffle, but hey, it's all good.
Okay. All right. Well, and I just want to kind of close up everything. And first of all, just Matt, Tina, everyone, thank you just so much. This is just a great community. And we wouldn't be here without all the connections. And I just want everyone to walk away with a good feeling, because one thing I've learned is it's quality over quantity. And that's what LinkedIn's about. And everyone in this room can help each other. So please reach out to me on LinkedIn. Some of you know me, you know where to find me. And I will not do TikTok, so don't try TikTok. So thank you so much. And does anyone have any questions before I close the meeting? Okay.
Thank you for the comments, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, everyone have a great evening, and please keep in touch and connect. And we look forward to our next meeting. And what date is it, Neil?
It is August 10th.
Okay. Awesome. So we'll see you then. Thank you and have a great evening.
Good night, everyone. Take care. Thank you.
Neil, can you stay on?
I kind of figured that was coming.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Sandy.
Anastasia.
Anastasia, okay.
Yes. I'm trying to get, I just got her email address. She
Thank
sent it to me through chat, so I'll send it to you so that we have it.
Okay, just send it to me. Yeah, excuse me. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
You got it.
Thank you. And then
so Anastasia, you're still on. So you'll see something coming from Anthony connecting you and Matt, so you can collect your prize.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia. We appreciate it. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name.
No worries. It's my short name.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Bye.
Neil, do you want just you and I talk real quick?
Yeah. Well,
we can stop the recording.
Yep.
I gotta get permission from the host to stop the recording.